By this point, we should be done with 02 use display. Please do not forget to save a program as soon as you are done with it. So we're going to move on to the next one, which is 03 drive forward. And this is probably what most students get excited for. This is when your robot's actually going to start to move. So I'm going to go ahead and click on 03 drive forward. Okay, and again, the challenge brief will show me what my robot is going to do. And in this case, instead of a video, this is going to be a series of pictures. And I'd like to draw your attention to the orange down arrow. And if I keep clicking on the next button, you're going to see that my wheel has turned one rotation. So let's try it again. So we got down, and it goes around, and then it stops. Okay, so again, our robot's going to move forward for one rotation. The building guide is going to tell me what I need in order to complete this. So in this case, it's got the robot, or also known as the driving base. This button here will give you the instructions on how to build it. Our robot is already built, so you don't have to click on those. Just take a look at what is listed in here and what you need to get from your box. So the next one is the programming guide. Before we get started, I'd like for you to go ahead and get a new page. And before we start programming, click on Save. We're going to name this 03 Drive Forward. And then click on Save, so this way our tab up at the top now has 03 Drive Forward. So it's telling us that we want to get the first block, which is the gears. So I'm going to click, drag, and drop. Click on the next button. Now I see orange arrows, but I don't see any of those big orange arrows that show me that I need to make changes. Let me kind of draw your attention to what is automatically selected. So if we look at port, you're going to notice that ports B and C are automatically selected. If you look at your driving base or the robot, you're going to see that the two motors, the left leg and the right leg, are already plugged in to motors B and C. For the direction, okay, we have three options. We can either have it drive forward, we can have it drive backwards, or we can have it stopped. For steering, okay, we can have it steer to the left, or we can have it steer to the right. And you're going to learn about this later. Okay, we don't have to make any changes, so we're going to keep the steering going straight. Power. Okay, power is going to be listed in percent. So in this case, speed is going to be set at 75%. Now, students always want to make these robots go as fast as they can go, and that is 100%. I can try typing in 500, and as soon as I hit enter, it automatically goes back to the default, which is 100%. Your robot cannot go any faster than 100%. And in this case, we actually just want to keep it at 75. For duration, like we said, our robot is going to go one rotation, but you also have other options that I want to draw your attention to. We have unlimited, which is kind of like the Energizer Bunny. It's just going to keep going and going and going. We have degrees, which one rotation is 360 degrees, which you'll notice it automatically changed 1 to 360. One thing I also want to draw your attention to, many students might type in 40 degrees and then they'll notice that it says rotations, or they'll type in 40 and then change it to degrees, and you'll notice that it automatically multiplies 40 times 360, which in this case is 14,400 degrees. So please make sure that when you start playing with the degrees and rotations that it's actually what you want it. So in this case, one rotation, and then the next action is listed as brake. So in this case, it's saying motors B and C are driving forward straight at 75% for one rotation and then braking. So I'm going to come over here to the next screen, click on next. Now I'm going to caution you, from this point on, I do not want you to hit this center button anymore. If your robot is on the table and you hit this button, your robot will drive off the table and crash onto the floor, which is not a good thing. So instead of download and run, we're going to hit the bottom left, which is download. Go ahead and click on download. Once your program is downloaded to your robot, you will hear a beep sound. And in that case, you're going to keep hitting the orange button until you see 03 drive forward, and it's going to give you two options. You can either run the program or delete it. Making sure that your robot is on the floor, you can go ahead and run your robot. After you have run your robot, don't forget to save your program, and then you can go ahead and continue on to the next lesson, which in this case would be 04 reverse.